Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome back to the channel. Today, as you can see from the thumbnail, what we got going on is a Ducati day. I got a new little mount that I could strap on to the helmet. I wanted to try it out, got it from Amazon. Without further ado, let's go check that out. So here's the mount, pretty simple, just a simple plastic packaging that it came in. Let's take a look at this. So, no, this is not my banana hammock. This is just basically like it's rubberized here, and it does have flexibility to it as well. This part right here is plastic. Then you got your straps that you can adjust according to helmet, and it already has built-in a mount where you could put your action camera. We'll just call it action cameras because, you know, there's so many cameras now that fit this type of setup. But you know, we all know it's a GoPro, right? But yeah, just call it action cameras just because it doesn't have to be a GoPro to fit it. Let's get my GoPro on this. Actually, yeah, let's get my GoPro on this first, and then just to see what it looks like with the camera on it, and then we'll strap it on to the helmet without the camera, and then yada yada yada. Anyways, let's do that. So I decided to just go with just the skeleton part without the camera on it, just so you could see. This is as far as back you can lean it. This is the angle you'll have, and you could obviously go a lot much lower. It feels like a good fit, pretty sturdy, so shouldn't have any issues with this popping out just like other GoPro accessories. Should be just fine. Oh, I just realized I have it backwards, but you get the point. It'll be something like this. And then, yeah, well, I will try putting this onto my helmet now. I know with some helmets you got vents up in the front, some you don't, some are pretty flat. So I think it'll depend on what helmet you have to see if this fits right. But I might be jumping ahead. Let's just go and try it on. I should note to you guys, the way it clips on, it's basically your this one's already clipped on. You're just gonna run the other string from up and over into here and then snap this back down. Here's what that looks like when it's not in there. So basically you're just, you know, snapping this open like that, and then you put the other strap into here and you close it up. So here on my AGV Corsa what, doesn't matter. Anyways, this helmet, as you can see, remember I was saying that on some helmets you're gonna have some vents that are kind of blocked. So this one is mostly blocked, but I'm okay with that. I honestly don't even know if these vents work that great anyhow. So that's not a knock on AGV. It's just me. I think I'm probably just run too hot. But anyways, with this, the only things I could kind of say so far as strapping it in, you do have to kind of like do a little bit of tugging here, tugging there, and kind of little readjustments just to get the fitment right. But I mean, that's what you get when you're working with something that can pretty much work universally with any kind of helmet. You know, it's not specifically made for this. You're gonna have to custom adjust it, and not a big deal. You clip it on. We'll see how it rolls once it's actually on, to see if those straps, having those straps in there, have any effect at all with either putting on the helmet. Because that's my concern, is that maybe once I put on the helmet, does my hair or head or face or something accidentally knock off the clips so that it unloosens and then comes right out, and then there goes my GoPro. We'll see. I have the camera on, as you can see. This is pretty much all the way back and shouldn't get in the way of my view. Should be at a good angle as well, and I have it set to like a taller setup on the GoPro itself so that you can see more top and bottom. Next thing to do is start the Ducati and get on the road and test this thing out. I'm not going to do this vlog style when I'm on the bike. I just want to try to see what the views look like, and I'll share them with you. Let's go. and I want to talk about some pros and cons. I'm going to start with the cons, and one of them, it's funny because I was talking about, yeah, it's going to cover the vent. That was already like an automatic con, but in actuality, this is kind of like a 2-for-1. Even though it blocks the air vents, you got to remember that this is practically open because of these straps here. So there's always going to be a little bit of a gap there. Now you might see that as a pro or a con. I'm going to go ahead and say it's a con because when you don't want the air to come in, there's going to be air that comes in just a bit. And if you're like me, who my eyes dry up pretty quick, that might be an issue. So for me, I'm going to call that a con. It may not be a con for you. I mean, some people ride with only half helmets, so having more air in your face, that might not be an issue at all. So for me personally, that's a con. The next one, it's going to be the inside the straps. You're going to feel a little bit of the straps hitting you right in the face, because they do kind of stick out a little bit more than the actual cushion of the helmet. So you're going to feel that around your mouth a little bit. Not only does it self touch, but I feel like it sort of also pulls down this piece here. Now this might be, these things that I'm saying may be just the case with me or this helmet. I'm gonna call it a con, and yeah, that's another thing that's kind of pulls it towards your face. But pretty much that's it. I can live with it. Now I would say with those cons, I wouldn't recommend this being something you use. Let's say, for example, like I sometimes ride all the way to Monterey. You're talking about well close to like 2 hours of a ride, and I wouldn't necessarily video it the whole trip anyways, and definitely not with something like this. Just to feeling that inside here, and then the fact that some air might get in, not something I would be comfortable with long rides. But a bit of a ride that I did today was definitely more than bearable, which now brings me to the pros. Now the pros is, as you can see in the video footage, having it mounted right here gives you a great view. And now you might say, like, well, you don't have to have this necessarily in order to get that view, and that's true, but you got to remember, with this type of helmet, it's very pointy and pokey. There's not much of a flat surface with this helmet. So if I wanted to kind of use like that residue adhesive type mount that you would use for some of these action cameras, I would not have a very front facing view. The other is a helmet, something that might be like a collector's item for some of you at some point, and you don't want to put some of those action mounts. So that brings me to another pro, is that you don't need to use any adhesive or stick it to anything permanently or for long term. You could just put this on and then take it off as needed. Another pro because of that is I'm not having to put multiple types of mounts onto multiple helmets that I own. I could easily put this onto this and put it onto my other helmets. So that is a definite pro when it comes to this. The other is the fact that all of this is one piece. There's not a lot of loose pieces that you have to worry about. The straps, they held on no problem. And then I don't know if you remember earlier, I was saying, like, I hope this doesn't come apart or loosens up when I put on the helmet. But the thing is, as your head is going inside the helmet, you are not causing any friction or touching those straps at all whatsoever. It is totally safe in my opinion, and it will be just fine. So for the price, I'll link it below. It's definitely worth it. There's some more expensive ones than this. I would say go with this and give it a shot, give it a try. You're not losing a whole lot. I think the pros definitely outweigh the cons by a lot. Can't go wrong with this. I think you'll enjoy it very much. Well, everyone, thanks again for tuning in for another video. I really do appreciate everyone that watches and has subscribed and comments and likes. Definitely do appreciate everything, and hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope it was useful. If you have any recommendations as far as like how you mount your cameras to your helmet, or mount your cameras anywhere in general, your action cameras, please let me know in the comments how you do that. Please again, like and share with anyone that might be into this type of content, and definitely subscribe and hit that notification bell, and I'll talk to y'all later.